Last year, Down to Business visited the green gold miners of Oro Verde in the jungles of Chocó in Colombia. They produce gold without the destructive practices associated with industrial mining. We caught up with one of the miners in London to mark the official Fairtrade certification of Oro Verde's gold. I last saw Americo Mosquera in the jungles of Chocó. Now he's in London. In fact, it's the first time he's been outside South America. He's here for London Jewellery Week. Why? For the first time, there are collections on show of jewellery made from certified Fairtrade gold. $137.5 billion was spent on gold jewellery in 2010, making it one of the largest categories of consumer goods.
So we're here at London Jewellery Week, and this is the bit where there is all the high-end stuff going on. So we've got the guys with the security things in their ears and stuff. And what's interesting is that there is no one in this bit, that the party is down there. This is the non-Fairtrade bit, that is the Fairtrade bit. And just half an hour ago we had the organisers ask people to move from the Fairtrade bit to the non-Fairtrade bit, so that there was a bit more action and a bit more love for the mainstream industry as it is. So is this a moment where things have started to shift or not?
Cred Jewellery is where the story began, when they started using Oro Verde's gold almost 10 years ago.
If you look at the way Fairtrade has gone through other products and just sort of ethical choices out in the marketplace, some people won't care. That's the bottom line, and that's absolutely fine. But I think more and more you're going to find new companies that actually take that responsibility seriously and get products through with values and criteria and accreditation that really demonstrates that change.
The Fairtrade standard is a major step forward, but it's not all plain sailing from here on.
The optimism is that people now know there's Fairtrade and fair mine gold. Yeah. The pessimism is probably the price of gold being so high. That could affect prices further down in the supply chain. But we just live and hope, and we've managed to get it off the ground.
And one of those instrumental in getting it off the ground was Cred co-founder Greg Valerio.
When I started for the Down to Business stuff, trying to understand this crazy business, all the roads led to you. Everyone said you've got to talk to Greg. So tell us the story. How did you begin on this stuff?
I began really by wanting to do Fairtrade jewellery, and that was in 1996. So we just started looking around, and we couldn't work out how to do it. We couldn't find any models. Everybody we asked in the industry said it was impossible. And the more we began to look at the industry as a whole, the more we began to uncover really the problems. No transparency, no traceability, dominated by corporate mining companies, 100 million small-scale miners marginalized economically, socially, politically, philosophically, in terms of the economic philosophy. And then we looked at the environmental impact, holes in the ground, dynamiting, cyanide, mercury. I think it's the beginning of the turn. When you think we launched certified Fairtrade Fair Mine Gold in February, that was after 10 years worth of hard work with miners like Americo and Oro Verde and all they've done.
He kept on talking about you, didn't he?
But he's the dude. He's the real guy. When I went out there in 2003 looking for a traceable source of gold, his was the mine that I visited. He was the guy that showed me how to do it. We talked about what we were doing with wedding rings and jewelry collections. He showed us what he was doing with chemical-free, environmentally sensitive mining. And it was like the miner met the jeweler, the two got together and had a discussion, and all of a sudden, it created the spark which catalyzed the whole opportunity. And it was that moment when everybody in the industry was saying, this is impossible, you cannot do it. All of a sudden, we did it. We had a traceable gold supply chain that was being sold to the customer as wedding rings. So it was a really simple product up. It wasn't rocket science, a simple court wedding ring. But when you think about it, court wedding ring, environmentally mined gold, it's a marketing no-brainer. You don't need to be a PhD student to work it out. and one sale became 2 sales, became 4 sales. Orders went from 50 grams to 100 grams to half a kilo.
With the numbers of Oro Verde miners on a steady sort of glide down, the numbers of miners who are joining him there, going down and down, what can turn around Oro Verde? So it's not just America holding out, but it really has become the norm. Okay?
Sales and capacity. The whole purpose of going fair trade was we knew we needed market traction. We knew that we needed a way of linking the idea and the product with the consumer. And we knew we had to jump over the industry and talk straight to the consumer, because the industry, in real terms, although now it's embracing it, back then was very resistant.
Despite the past, it's hard not to feel the enthusiasm for green gold now, with the first fair trade collections on show.
It's so exciting to be here tonight to see the launch of the world's first fair trade and fair mine jewellery collections. The people can actually now buy fair trade and fair mine gold. And it's especially exciting to launch it not only with the 10 companies that are here tonight, and there are about 34 companies altogether, but actually also to launch it with one of the miners from Colombia. And it's that connection between a miner who takes the gold out of the earth with the public who can end up wearing it that's at the heart of fair trade and fair mine gold.
And in many ways, America was the star of the show.
I'm really happy and very proud to see not only where the gold comes from, but also now to see where the jewellery ends up, with the final consumers. People ask the question, why is it called green gold? And it's called green gold because we take the gold without damaging the green. It's wonderful because now, for the first time, people in Colombia and around the world are recognising the value of green gold, after years and years of not seeing that value.
You might have thought that mining would be the last industry to gain a fair trade certification, and it certainly had its opponents, from both within the industry and outside it. But this could go a long way to making Oro Verde and other low-impact mining operations like them less niche and more part of the mainstream.